Are you looking to attract chickadee families to your backyard? You don't need power tools or fancy equipment, just this easy DIY kit and a few minutes of your time. In this video, I'll walk you through how to build the perfect chickadee nest box, step by step. I'll show you the dimensions of the pieces in the kit, how to assemble it, and where to mount it for the best results. And if you're into DIY bird projects, hit subscribe. I'll be building nest boxes for swallows, bluebirds, flickers, and more in the next videos. Let's get started. Now, before we build our nest box, let's take a look at what's inside of our kit. The first thing we see inside of our kit is going to be our instructions. Not only does it list off these individual components inside, but how to build it step by step. That comes in handy later. First thing we're going to pull out of the kit is going to be our floor. Our floor is a very simple square piece of wood, which you can cut easily if you don't have the kit. And we drill a hole in the bottom of it. This is going to help with drainage in case water ever gets inside of the nesting box. Next up, we have the front of our box. For a chickadee, we've got a 1 1/8 inch hole size. This is really crucial because it's big enough for the chickadees to get in, but too small for other predatory birds to get in and injure the nest. The same size piece of wood for the back. And what we have is a pre-drilled hole for installation and a hole at the back. And this is going to be helpful for mounting it to a building, a tree, a fence, or something like that. Next up, we have our sides. Our sides are pre-cut with angled slopes so that the roof can go on an angle. If you're making this at home, the angle isn't necessary, but it does help for keeping that rain deflection. We've pre-drilled holes in the box so that we can install it easily. And last but not least, we've got the roof. The roof is going to be designed to be on an angle at the top, and we've pre-drilled our holes in it to install easily. We've got some sandpaper for when we finish up, we can sand off some of those sharp splinter edges. And of course, we have our hardware, which includes our nails, a screw for mounting, and a little lock for the front door. We'll show you how we can lock this door while maintaining access to clean it out every year. Now that we're all unpacked and ready to go, it's time to build the box. For this kit, the only tool needed is a hammer. We do have a screw here that will require a screwdriver for installing the box, but we'll handle that later. The first thing we're going to want to do when we're building the box is to organize our components and get them laid out for easy assembly. So the first step is to get our floor. We want to figure out what side we want the floor to be, usually a nice smooth side. In this case, both sides are smooth, so it really doesn't matter. The first thing I like to do when building this is to line up the floor with the back. Now, so that we get a good, easy installation, we want to make sure the sides of the box are lined up nicely on the back. So what I do is I'm going to put this down like this, line up our sides and our bottom so that everything is nice and flush. Put a nail in the pre-drilled hole. This is why the pre-drilling makes things so easy. And then give this a quick hammer. Once that's on there, that's our nice foundation, which is going to make the rest of this installation super, super smooth. Once we have the back mounted to the bottom floor, we're going to get our first side. Now, whichever side you think looks the nicest is what I would put on the outside. You can see this piece of wood is really nice on this side, but it's not very nice on this side. So we're going to line it up. The way that I like to line this up is flush against the back and flush against the bottom. And it has to be flush against the back because we need enough overhang here for the door. Same thing, we're going to line it up flush on the bottom, flush at the back. Start with our first nail here. So now that we have one side, our floor, and our back on, it's time to flip it over and do the other side. This has two nice sides on it, so it doesn't matter which way. At this point, we can only put it on one way, so pre-planning where you want your pieces to go is pretty crucial for the overall aesthetic. There we go. We're about 80% completed with this box. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to put the front on the box. And on the inside, you could add a metal mesh to this, or you could serrate this, even just with one of the nails in the kit. And what that's going to do is it just provides a little bit of grooves for the young birds to crawl out of the nest when they're at the stage to fledge. Nothing too complicated. I like to lay the box down on the back to line this up. One important thing to note here is we don't want to have this all the way up at the top because we want about a 1/2 inch gap here for ventilation, similar to the back. We already have that lined up at the back there. So what we'll do is we'll just split that down just a little bit, put it on its side, make sure it's flush to the front. I kind of push down on that to squeeze it a little bit and hammer it in. Flip it over to the other side. Have it nice and flush there. Squeeze it down again. Now, we're all complete, and the nice feature about this box is it allows the door to open and close so that you can clean it out in the fall, which is really crucial. We have our drainage at the bottom, and once we install our roof at the top, we're going to have great ventilation to keep the box from getting too hot. Next up, we've got our roof. Same thing. For this, it's probably best to have the best looking side on the outside, just for aesthetics. We've got our 4 holes on the top here, and they're drilled to line up with here. So what you want, there's sort of 2 approaches to take with this. If you're going to be mounting this box right to the side of a building, you want to have this right up against the edge so that the box does not interfere. Like if you have it sticking out here, it'll be hard to mount it without putting a spacer here. So having this right against the back allows you to mount it flush to a wall. If you're putting it on the top of a fence post where it doesn't matter, you're going to want to put this back because what that's going to do is prevent any water from getting into that back ventilation hole while still providing a little overhang. For this case, we're going to just leave a little bit of overhang on the back here for the weather protection. We're going to line this up so that it's nice and even on both sides, and our holes are lined up with our boards there. So we're going to put it on right about here. We're going to hammer the first nail in. Before we hammer our second nail in, we're going to give it a visual look, make sure we're even on both sides. Then we got 2 more nails at the front to secure it on. There we go. We've got our nesting box, which is perfect because we have no perch on the front. Perch is dangerous for the birds in there. It allows other birds to prey on the baby birds. We've got the ventilation at the top, the drainage at the bottom, and an easy access for cleaning. Now, one last piece we can do here is we can take our screw and just screw it into here, and I'll show you the purpose of that. I'll fast forward through this. What this screw does, it locks it. So you can unscrew it, and that unlocks it. So it unlocks it and locks it so that once you're done cleaning it, you lock it back and nobody can get in there. Now, once your chickadee house is built, here's how to make sure the birds actually use it. First off, the height and placement. Mount it about 5 to 10 feet off the ground, ideally on a post or tree trunk in a quiet spot. Chickadees like sheltered areas near trees or shrubs, but not completely buried in them. Next up, the orientation. Face the entrance away from wind and rain. In our area, that usually means facing east or southeast. Timing, when to mount it. You can mount it any time, but chickadees are typically looking for nest spots in late winter and early spring. So aim to have it mounted before March. Maintenance note. It's a good idea to clean out old nests in the fall. Just remove the front and shake out the nest material, and it's ready for next season. As far as mounting it goes, this is going to have the hole in the back. You can put your screw directly into the hole and screw it into your tree or fence post or wherever you're mounting it. And that's how to build a simple chickadee nest box. No power tools, no guesswork. If you want to build one yourself, we've got these pre-cut kits available in our store and online. We do ship. And don't forget to subscribe. This is the first in a full series on species-specific nest boxes. I'll show you how to build one for swallows, bluebirds, flickers, and more. Thanks for watching. Happy birding.